Hello and welcome to tonight's show.
Welcome to episode 178 of On the Bench, the podcast for scale modelers by scale modelers, all about scale models. This show is being brought to you by our wonderful Patreon supporters. You too can help support the show. Simply go to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from as little as $1 per month. Your contributions are greatly appreciated and help us with our hosting and production costs. In this episode, we're going to be looking at silhouette cutters, what's new in the modelling world, and of course, the mailbox. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor, SMS.
Hi, I'm Scott, the creator and owner of the Scale Modeler Supply, Australia's largest manufacturer of hobby paints. Our premium airbrush-ready acrylic lacquer paints are designed specifically for use on plastics, with a comprehensive range covering all popular modelling subjects including military, aircraft, rail, auto, sci-fi and more. And not only that, but we also have a wide selection of essential hobby tools and now, infinite colour, our new range of water-based paints for miniatures. So to check out our range and to find your closest retailer, please visit our website at scalemodeler.com.au. So when quality matters, choose SMS Paints.
And hello and welcome to the show. And in the studio we have the usual crowd. Let's start off with...
Hello.
Ian.
Hello. Good morning.
And of course Julian.
Hello, good morning.
And special guest arriving today to talk about our subject later on, which is silhouette cutters. We have Michael Gibson.
Hello.
How are we all?
Good.
Excellent. Gentlemen, what's been happening since the last show? We'll kick off with you. Ian, are you alive still?
Yeah, I'm still getting over this COVID. I'm completely negative, but I'm still suffering from the lethargicness.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Which is, we're struggling to see the difference between before and after.
Yeah. So my bench has still been pretty empty, but I did buy another kit.
Do tell.
I bought a 5.3 centimetre Gruson Farpanzer. And there you go. Now you can Google it and find out what the hell I'm talking about.
What is it? Explain it.
Google it and find out.
A Farpanzer.
Yeah, a 5.3 centimetre Gruson Farpanzer. Now Dave's going to have a look and see what it is.
Jeez. Well, while I'm doing that...
Yeah, I'll talk about what I've been working on. So I've been working on the... what is it called? The
FAHR. There you go.
There you go.
Farpanzer. Oh, okay.
So what it is for our listeners, it's a little round cylinder with a gun sticking out on wagon wheels. It was used
it was basically a like a semi-mobile pillbox.
Right.
That you could transport.
And who's making that at the moment?
Copper State Models.
Oh, of course.
So yeah, I saw one of them. I've gone, yeah, got to get that for me Copper State Models collection.
So Farpanzer is spelled FAHRPANZER if you want to have a look.
But it's a pretty cool looking thing. Developed in the late 1800s, but still used during the First World War.
Oh, okay.
And it comes with the little carriage, and
it's very old-timey.
It is very old-timey. I like it.
What was it? Horses sort of drawn?
Horse-drawn.
Okay.
Horse-drawn.
It looks like someone's retrofitted like a ship cannon and put it on like on a carriage.
It's very steampunk. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It's very steampunk.
Yeah, I like it. Thus I bought it.
All right. Sorry, Julian, we interrupted you.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I mean, what I was saying was an interruption in itself. Wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's true. It always is.
Yeah, so I've just been working on the Skyline, and I've got all the paint squared away on the body, and I've got the chrome done around the windows. Mm-hmm. So now I'm working on all the little bits and pieces of chrome and things.
And
bumpers and things. Yeah. I stripped the bumpers of their chrome, so that's ready to get painted.
And I have to ask, what's happening with?
Haven't touched it.
I didn't even say the word.
Didn't have to.
It's the Mooseru Cup.
Do you know how much time we've got now?
Until March.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's only like 3.5 months.
Oh no.
Yeah. And we know you build like as a snail.
Yeah, but it's a tiny thing. And there's not much detail there anyway. Look, and so, like, of all the people who are going to be building that thing, I am the least qualified.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I'll happily admit that. I mean, I'm up
Because
against...
you build cars, so
I built other things, but of all the things that I'm good at, weathering is not one of them, and you can't really do a Russian truck.
You can do
Well, I mean, I'm going to be doing it without weathering.
Hey, here's an idea.
But that's intentionally, like, handicapping myself.
Why don't you do it like as a show vehicle? Give it a really nice, colourful paint scheme.
Well, I told you I'll be doing mine in probably like a nice baby blue.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do it in baby blue.
Yeah, because I'm doing it as like you know, like a camper van kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Kind of Airstream style.
Sure. All right.
Geez, you're going to have to get a lot of chrome on that.
Well, I mean, I don't want to overdo it with the chrome. I want to keep it mostly blue, but with chrome accents on various things.
Yep.
You can do hippie flowers and stuff like that along the side.
No.
No. I know where he's coming from, 1950s.
Yeah, very 1950s.
Oh, gypsy type thing, like a gypsy wagon.
No. Like a 1950s caravan or camp.
You're thinking like 60s or 70s or something like that. No, this is 50s style I'm going for. Okay. You know, Americana with the whole, diner, 50s diner kind of look.
Sure.
But if you do the whole camper van section, really go the whole hog and polished metal.
Well,
that'll look pretty cool.
I could. Yeah, I could because that's like I didn't want to go that far with the chrome though. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a bit different when it's like a round bulbous shape. Yeah, and I can't really. It wouldn't suit it if I put like that rounded of a shape on the back of a Russian truck.
So what are you putting on? What are you putting on the tray? Because obviously, if it's going to be like
I'll have like a box with rounded off corners.
So you're going to make that yourself?
Yeah.
You can scratch build.
It's just a block. Oh. It's just a block with rounded off corners. It's hardly you make it sound like I'm it's like I'm going to scratch build a 1/700 scale carrier. I think what I'm doing falls short of that.
So Windows.
I'm not sure yet. I haven't thought that far ahead, but I mean, there are already, with these trucks, there are already like some versions that you can get as a model kit, where it's like red colored and it's got like a box on the back with a compartment and windows on it.
Yep.
These are the larger scale ones, the 35th scale ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of them are done by Trumpeter, I guess.
All right.
Trumpeter, Mini Art, one of them. Maybe not Mini Art.
Yep.
Actually, maybe Mini Art. ICM. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, they exist. So it's not like there's, already a bit of something there.
Yeah.
I did look into like Airstream caravans and what they sort of entail and the kind of windows they have on them and such and such.
Well, giddy up, mate. Giddy up.
Oh, whatever.
What about you, Dave?
I'm still doing that Tirana drone thing.
Oh, they had that nearly finished.
No.
That's the sound of a defeated man.
Look, no. It's not. The kit's fine. The issue is that when you do 3D prints, you got that like wood grain effect that sort of comes through.
Oh, and you're trying to get rid of it.
And I've got to sand that all back. And then when you sand that back, it fills in all the little rivet holes. So then I've got to go and clean all the rivet holes out with a little drill bit. And
so what do you use it? What are you painting it with? Before you sand it? What, like a Mr. Surfacer 1000 or something?
Before I sand it? No. I sand it first and paint.
Because I'd do that.
Why?
Yeah. Well, if you use like black Mr. Surfacer, now 1000, that's like the heavier stuff, isn't it?
No, 1000 is the thinnest one.
So you want the heavier stuff.
Yeah. So you want, I don't know, maybe...
No, the 1500 is the lighter stuff.
No, 1500 is like middle of the road.
What? The smaller number, the coarser it is.
Yes, the thicker and syrupy it is. Yeah.
So 1500 would be
middle of the road.
Oh my god!
Because it goes. The finest one is 1000. No. My numbers are all wrong.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I said.
And
you
then
used
they wonder
1,000.
why I've
Yeah.
got this pain between my eyes.
So there's So let me remember. There's 500. There's 1,000.
Yes.
And there's
1,200.
1,500, right?
1,200 and 1,500.
1,200.
I'm
Yep.
sure there is.
Yeah, there's
No.
1,200. sitting
I
on my
never
shelf.
used the 1,200.
Neither have
So
I.
But I would personally, what I was going back to is, once you've cleaned it in soapy water and got rid of any oils or whatever crap on the resin, is just spray the whole thing with like the heavy Mr. Surfacer. Then when you sand it,
Yep.
if you use the black stuff, you're going to see all your low spots. It's also going to fill a lot of the low spots.
Yeah.
And it's going to visually, you'll be able to see where all your rivets are a lot easier.
I can see them a lot easier now because as you sand it, the sand comes up like really white, and so it fills in all the
Yep.
rivet holes and the panel lines, and I can see it's dead easy. I'll show you after the show.
you don't need to drill out your rivet holes to clear them out.
No, just use a bit of what is it?
I would just use
The
a
thinners.
toothbrush.
Thinners. Bit of
Toothbrushes. The fine the holes are too. The rivet holes are too fine for a toothbrush. I've tried.
Compressed air.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Microfiber cloth. It picks up everything.
Oh, I never thought of that either. Anyway,
Brains trust.
I'm just about. I'm at the stage now where I'm ready to paint. Just about. I'm just going to
Okay.
finish getting.
And what colour is it go? Like a grey or?
Oh no! It's white and day glow orange.
Oh, that's going to be bright.
So it's going to be nice and pretty.
Pretty.
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
Very good. Anyway,
What about you, Michael?
Michael. Yes.
I'm having a riveting time.
Riveting time. That's what we like to hear.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing a CH53E in 148. The old Super C Stallion model that's not available anymore.
That's a big beast.
It's beautiful. Now,
Where do you store it when it's finished? Or can you are you folding the blades or something?
What's
I have a pleasure rip.
which scale is this?
148.
A sea stallion.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest one you can get or no?
Yeah.
Right.
Beautiful.
Who's it made by?
Anyway,
It has to go, isn't
if
it?
anyone out there has it, hold it in the light, look at your fuselage, and you'll see that Academy actually tried to do the riveting. There's faint lines already embedded for all the rivets, so you can just put them along there. You don't have to measure
really?
anything that's already there, just really hidden. You just have to look.
Ah, there you go. Something interesting for everyone to know.
So I've done most of them, got myself some lovely riveting tools.
Yeah, I've got a few of those. They're really good. You got the double riveting? The one that's got the two blades next to each other?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's a handy thing.
Sorry, Mike. Which company did you get your helicopter? Is it the Revell? No, it's the
Academy.
Academy.
Chat to me.
Do you have that res kit rotor?
Maybe.
Maybe. That's a yes.
Yeah, that's
Maybe I've got the tail rotor as well.
yeah. Those are
Yeah, otherwise it's going to be a
kits in
bugger to
themselves.
fit somewhere.
The res kit's wonderful.
Yeah. So it's the Rich Kit one you got. The
Yep,
Yeah.
seven blades.
oh gosh, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think D-Ran was building one of these from the Geeks, and he said it's almost like a model. It's in its own right. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he was building one.
Especially
of
if you're going to go the whole hog and put all the cables
these.
and stuff
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
All the lines and hoses, and there's a lot that goes on there.
Yeah.
There's a really good photo of like a guy like this sort of sprawled on top of one, just working on things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to get out and about next year, I think. Might
Very cool.
take it to a couple of events and places. And
So what's the actual kit like? Is it pretty straightforward, or
well, it's just really run-of-the-mill Academy.
yeah? Okay.
Just their standard instructions. It doesn't have all the corrections and little photos that some of their later kits have. That like you can see in the CH47s and other offerings.
Now I'm pretty sure we spoke online because when you were building it, and I asked you if you're going to do some oil canning on the fuselage. Have you decided to go down that route, or
Yeah, you got to do it
yeah?
because you can't find a photo of one that doesn't have stretched skin because of
Yep.
all the weight.
Yeah. Geez, and even Edward do some accessories for it too. They do the coloured PE for it.
Yeah, it's also got a big Ed set going in it.
Oh, nice.
Hey, someone's spending a bit of money.
Gosh.
So I actually bought the big Ed set first, and I've been looking for the kit for a long, long time. And one of the gents from the club I'm in, he found it and said, "Hey, I found this. Do you want it?" And I was like, yeah, it's good because I've already bought it. So, here you go. But when they're done and they're done well, they're a beautiful kit to look at.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's good.
See that kit there on the screen right now that we're looking at? That's actually just standard.
Out of box.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
That's impressive, isn't it?
Mm. All right. Well, look forward to seeing that when it's finally finished.
Definitely.
Folded blades?
No.
You have the blades out.
I've got the space for blades out.
Wow.
If you do the folded blades, you can do the folded tail and all the rest of it as well. So it makes
I've
it
also got a
nice.
Sea Dragon to do.
Okay. You're in the helicopter
for the
thing at the moment.
Marines. I've always liked helicopters.
Okay.
And I've also got the Japanese one to do. What would be a smart move, because they're the same kit, all of them, is for res kit to do the side pylons, sponsons, and fuel tanks.
They can do with a bit of work, can they?
No, because the Sea Dragon and the both Marines and Japanese ones don't come with the fuel tanks and sponsons.
Oh,
like
right,
that.
I see.
The sponsons on the Sea Dragon are just like as tall as a person. They're huge.
Wow. Big beast.
Yep.
Well, there you go. Very nice. All right. Let's have a chat about... should we go into mail? And
I think we'll do the regular thing, mail.
All right. Okay.
What's new, and then we'll have our chat.
Let's jump into mail first of all, and we've got quite a few things that have popped in as well. So, first of all, our good mate Jody, who we had on the show, going back a few episodes now.
Yep.
She writes, "Hey all, it was great to meet you all at Scale ACT,
Yes, it
and
was.
to be in the podcast yet again. So much fun to be with you all in person this time. I must have been in denial at the show ending because I only just put my cases away at home. I had a lot of fun at the show and seeing all the different models that inspired me to try different scale models, and I ordered my first civil aviation kit when I got home, which is also partially inspired by Marissa and her model planes. So expect to see it in Canberra next year because I will definitely be back. All the best to you guys and can't wait to do it all again." That's from Jody.
Thanks, Jody. Yeah, looking forward to catching up again, mate.
Yeah, terrific.
I didn't get to meet anyone really.
Why not?
Well, because there's only 4 microphones. And you had Marissa and Jody on at the same time.
Oh, yeah, we kicked Julian off.
Yeah.
Julian, you can stand
And the rest of the time I
watch.
spent sitting in a corner and feeling not too great.
Enjoying your winnings.
Oh, yeah, that too, yeah. Oh,
He was
yeah.
hungover on the Saturday.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. Dave Waple writes in, just listened to the podcast today. That's our latest one, obviously. And the Harbour Defence Moto launch, HDML from Black Cat Models, will be kitted with photo etch railings. Julian was indeed correct that the railings around the aft gun position were wonky. But I think that's the only thing that will be photo etch. The challenge is to support the railings, especially inboard on the ship, such as the depression railings around the gun. So I don't think I'd be too excited about a ship model with 3D printed railings already printed to the hull. It would be a pain to try and mask and decal around those rails, I think. Yeah, I agree. Material could be an issue if using the wrong kind of resin, as most resin I see used today has some flexibility and may be better than photo etch railings. Designers just need to figure it out so it can be used easily. That's from our good mate Dave Waples. And he's right. Look,
Can I just say I really enjoy being right. It's one of my favourite things.
I can see one spot where it would work if it was done right.
Mm-hmm.
On certain, like the alley boat,
yeah,
up on the mast.
yeah,
If the railings are already done and they were correct up there,
yeah,
that'd be fine because you just put your mast on and you don't touch it.
yeah. Just one coat of paint. Yep.
But down in the meat of the ship, no. You can't get in. You got to be able to mask up and paint.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that progresses, and I reckon that.
Look, I can see it definitely happening in the future.
Yeah, I agree too. Ashley Bergraff writes in, "G'day benches, cheers for a great show. You guys are a normal part of my workday. Listening to you a lot ramble on, even if the subject does not interest me with all the bickering and throwing beep beep at each other. Keeps me entertained throughout the day at work and reminds me of our local hubby club get-togethers and how most scale modelers, no matter what you build, are a welcoming and friendly bunch. I'd also like to note that the fellow Dutchman Ian nailed my last name on the previous episode. So that will do from Dave. That will do from Dave. Was a crack up. Once again, thanks for keeping the model mojo alive even when life gets in the way. That's from Ash.
Hey, no worries, Ash.
That's nice.
And he said there's a couple of attachments as well, which is very cool. So I might use them moving forward in the future.
Yes. Very cool. Very cool. Thanks, Ash.
Ash what? What's his second name?
Berghoff.
There you go. You got
Get it
that.
there.
You got that Dutch back of the throat.
That was shade.
Let's see. Next one. Here we go again. Another one having a crack at my pronunciation. I'm going to let you read this one out.
Jovanen Ville.
Hello, benches. Ville Jovanen from Finland again. It was truly comedy gold, butchering my name and hometown. Glad you like my models.
We did.
Commenting about the last episode's other mail about what constitutes a scale model. If I look too narrowly, none of my models would be scale models because they aren't scale replicas about one-to-one subjects. I think that modelling shouldn't be too narrowly focused and no gatekeeping. You guys all had good points. The main thing about modelling is building something with your hands and enjoying it. Also, Julian mentioned panel wash applying tool a couple of episodes ago and it not having a reservoir for the wash. I have the border one, and the reservoir for the wash is a hole on top of the tip, much like a fountain pen.
I know what you mean. Yep.
Keep the hole at the upper position, then lightly press the tip down, and that opens up the tip, allowing a wash to flow. I love this tool as it is far more precise way of applying the wash. No more cleaning the model from overflow wash. Happy modelling, Ville.
That's a pretty good idea. I'll have to look into one of them. Good for like doing panel lines.
It did pop. The tool popped up. I think about 3 or 4 months ago, and a lot of people are poo-pooing it, saying, "Oh, it's just a fountain pen," but it's using the fountain pen principle, to apply a wash. So, I'm just wondering though because with a wash you've got the sometimes heavy pigments in it, and I'm wondering whether that'll sort of clog it as you're sort of going through.
Well, then you got to make sure you mix it properly.
Retarder.
Yeah.
But that sounds like a similar to a pot calligraphy pen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of Display or whatever they're bloody called, no one knows how they're supposed to be pronounced.
Display.
They've got a lot more stuff in their catalogue these days. A lot of stuff.
I haven't looked in their catalogue for so long.
I think they've released like 3 different kinds of jeweler's vice style vices. One of them's the rotating kind.
I've got one of them.
You've got one?
Yeah.
Oh, Dave's got a tool that Julian doesn't.
It's got like little pins in it.
Yeah. It's got little pins, and it's the ball mounted one.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to have a look at that.
So,
How much did that cost you?
Well, gee, I can't remember. I bought it ages ago.
Because they're like $150 at the cheapest.
Yeah, I probably spent that much. I don't know.
And you didn't mention it on this podcast?
No, it just slipped my mind.
Right.
There's another one. It's
Dave's been bogarting.
articulated clamp handle and weighted base.
Articulated clamp handle.
Yeah, so it moves in 2 points, and then it has the little top bit with all the little pinholes as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Wow.
I prefer the ball mounted one so that you can just rotate it and, after you've clamped it all down and it doesn't stay completely rigid.
Well, if we're talking tools,
Okay.
Galaxy riveting tools, love them. They're really good.
Galaxy riveting tools. Interesting. I'll have to...
Because they also let you get right into a curved surface where it meets something else, so there's no gap.
All right. Is this where it looks like rather than a full circle, it's like just a...
Yep, sectional.
Like a curved piece. Like a khopesh.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, a khopesh. Julian knows his ancient swords.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay,
I had to look it up recently. That's why I know.
I was like, oh no, Julian's out geeked me.
Yeah, there's a super niche out geek. But that's a good concept.
Now it lets you get right in so that because you you're using the same millimeter space from the riveting wheel.
Yeah.
So all you do is find where your last hole was from that wheel, and then just continue on and make a neat finish.
That makes sense. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because like you'll never be able to get up into the wing root of a lot of planes otherwise.
You can now.
Yeah.
And as we finish up with
some nice cars.
Listener mail.
I like that.
Yvain actually sent some more pictures in with some more of his models. I'd really highly encourage people to go to our group Facebook, which is On Your Bench, and feel free to post all the pictures of the really cool stuff that you build there. And
that's some really nice kits, doesn't
he's
it?
got some really nice sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking at the cars.
I'd love for you to share them with everybody else because they're really, really cool pictures.
The MGB in the yellow, black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really quite nice, isn't it?
Oh, he's got the carbon fibre decal for the hood.
Ah, nice.
Oh, and the front mount intercooler.
Okay, Julian's getting all
Just a moment alone.
Julian's geeking out.
All right. All right. I'm allowed to get excited by models on this podcast. Don't shame me for this.
No, well, that brings it to the end of listener mail. Of course, if you want to write in, you can send us an email to onthebench64@gmail.com. We love listening to or reading what you guys have got to say. And you can also, of course, get in touch with us via our Facebook page. So just go there and click on the link, and that'll send a message to us. And either Ian, Julian, or myself will respond to you.
Yeah.
So it's all cool. All right. Let's have a very short break to maybe get some more coffee or orange juice, and we'll be back very shortly. All right, we're back. I showed Julian the Vice that I have, and he poo-pooed it.
Look,
so now we're on the Display website. Having a look at all the great tools.
It's fine. Like it's not like it doesn't do the job. But if I'm going to buy a jeweler's Vice, and like to for those who don't know, like a jeweler's Vice is basically a Vice that has a whole bunch of holes in the top, and you put the little pins in, and then they use the pins to grip around your subject.
Yep.
And it can hold any kind of shape that you want to give it, especially if you put like some silicon style tubing over the pins.
Heat shrink.
Yeah, or heat shrink. Yeah, something that gives it a bit of cushion. Yeah.
I have heat shrink on mine.
Mm-hmm.
It works really well.
And if I'm gonna buy one, I may as well buy the best one, right? Otherwise, I'm gonna have have to get rid of my old one when I buy the better one, right?
Yes.
So I may as well get the ball-mounted one that can full swivel after you've clamped your subject in.
I don't have a problem with buying new tools because I have kids, so I just look, you got a new tool.
I'll just use it.
No, they get the old one, I get the new one.
Oh, I get you. Yes.
Fair enough.
The old hand-me-down and everything all gets passed down the line.
That one looks good too.
The handheld clamp Vice. Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, especially if you're painting figures.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the Display website for so long. I've got some really cool stuff in there now.
Yeah, they do. You know, they've even got this weird, like, it's almost like a spray booth, but it's designed to take away, like, dust and stuff, I think.
Like water background?
No. It's just like a suction thing that the idea is you mold in front of it and, like, you're sanding things and it just takes it away or something.
Okay.
It seemed a bit of a gimmick. With, they've got so many tools that it's like hit and miss, Some of them are super useful and some of them are like,
actually, I bought this not this year at Canberra. Last year I went to Canberra. I bought like a little handheld, it's like a little round barrel vacuum cleaner.
Right.
Which it's like a desk vacuum, and this thing is great. Like if something goes pinging off me desk, I just grab that thing and just everywhere around, and then just pop it open, and 9 out of 10 times there it is.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little handheld like mouse vacuum cleaner, and then I have my can't find it light.
Oh yeah,
my can't find it light is a floodlight from Bunnings. Beam. That thing that's reflecting. That's it there. Because I do a lot of photo etch, so my light unfortunately gets a lot of use.
Oh, it definitely would.
Damn it.
Well, let's move on, shall we, to what's new in the modelling world. And, of course, the Falcon writes in, "Hi, gang. Let's start with aircraft. Vallum will release a new boxing of their 1/44th scale.
1 to 144.
Yeah, Bristol Brigand. The Brigand B Mark 1 RAF and Pakistan Air Force. Hands up, who knew that Pakistan operated a Brigand? And my hands are not up, says the Falcon. You may remember the Kinetic were working on a 48 scale Canadair CT-114 Tutor jet trainer. It had already been held up, but the bad news is that it will be delayed even further, and we won't see it until the second or third quarter of 2024. Hobby Boss have announced they would be releasing a MiG 29K Fulcrum D in 2024. Well, it's coming in January, and the price will be $128, which seems pretty steep.
Especially for a Hobby Boss kit.
Italeri will be releasing a 72nd scale AMXT jet trainer, light attack aircraft. And I'm a bit late with this one, but Armour Modelers Group, Armoury Models Group, have shown box art and decal options for their forthcoming 148 scale de Havilland DH-89 Dragon Rapide in Interwar Service Part 1. As far as I can see, there is only one single marking option, which is Railway Air Services, City of Bristol. The kit was slated for release in December 2023, and while there is still time, I doubt it will be available soon enough to make it under your Christmas tree. Academy are releasing the X-Minicraft 72nd scale consolidated PBM-5 Mariner flying boats. Wow, 72nd scale. Okay.
That'd still be a big kit.
Yeah. People are hoping that Italeri might address some of the problems with the kit, but sadly it is unchanged. The good news is that it will be significantly cheaper than the Minicraft release, as much as 50% less, and you can use the savings to buy the correction sets for it. Great Wall Hobby are to follow up on their 48 scale F-14B Bombcat with an F-14A Tomcat in the same scale. There are 3 decal options for the aircraft, operating with the Black Aces and Wolfpack. Edward have recently been having a look at the P40L.
Ooh.
I guess we can now safely assume that Edward will be kitting the Merlin engine variants in the P40 family.
Fantastic.
Now, Ian, you are a real fanboy of the P40, aren't you?
Yes.
You've got
I'm
at
very
least
excited about this.
10 of them in your
10, 18.
built.
No, in the stack. I've built 2. No, 3.
You built more than that, yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah, you've got a few there.
But they'll all I'll sell them all off.
Oh, really?
Once Edward comes out, the Edward kits will be so much better.
There you go.
Just start selling
Fingers
them off
crossed.
now.
Yeah, I will.
You don't want to wait for Airfix to release a Sea King and still be holding on to your Hasegawa.
Yeah. Edward have shown a bit of CAD work being done on their forthcoming 48 scale MiG-15. Don't get too excited though. There are several other projects in the queue with a greater priority. The MiG might be ready for release in 2025, but don't be surprised if it takes a while longer. Ed would have a ton of projects on the go at the moment.
Yes, they do.
Dragon Models have
including
done...
a Stuka.
Oh, yes, I'd heard whispers about the Stuka.
Yeah, doing a 48 scale Stuka.
Yeah. When was the last time somebody did a Stuka? It's been a while.
It'd be Airfix. Last one would have been Airfix.
You're probably right there, you know.
In 48 scale.
Yeah. Dragon Models have just done a bit of promotion for their 48 scale kit of the Messerschmitt ME-109E.
Yeah.
It is the first in the Wing Tech 2 series and is said to have been 10 years in the making. The kit boasts a single-piece rear fuselage, detailed engine, detailed cockpit, separate leading edge slats, and separate posable flaps and control surfaces. Now, I've looked at...
I saw that, yeah. It looks quite interesting, like the whole rear fuselage is just one piece.
Yep, slide moulded. And
but the thing is, a lot of people don't realise is there actually is a line that runs along the fuselage.
But is there?
Yes, there is.
Well, hang on a second, because
if you look at the factory, you look at when they built the fuselage sections of the factory, they were rolled and then they came around, and I'm pretty sure it was butt joint at the bottom.
And there are some pictures of aircraft showing it without that line along the
been
spine.
puttied.
No. The actual aircraft itself, it's just a pure piece of aluminium that's been sort of wrapped right around.
Yeah.
With the joint on the underneath, I'm assuming. So it's not just along the spine, along the top.
No, I didn't say it was on the top.
Oh, I thought you did.
It's at the bottom. I'm pretty sure it's at the bottom.
Oh, because you're used to everyone complaining about,
Yes.
arguing over the one on the top.
Yeah. Well, you got to do your research, guys.
Yep.
Got to do your research.
Build from the hip.
Dragon says this kit is part of their Engineering Revolution 2.0. The wing plug directly into one-piece fuselage, and the joint is hidden beneath the leading edge fairing. The kit is specially engineered to reduce the need for putting and sanding. Hallelujah! And something for the Matchbox nostalgics. The sprues are multicoloured. Oh, there you go. The press release made a point about one-piece canopy, saying it was a good thing. However, looking at the sprue map, there was a three-part canopy, so perhaps the single part will be an option. Time will tell. Didn't see anything about the decal options, but the kit is labelled as JG26, which is Adolf Galland's, so we know what at least one option will be. I wonder if the kit will include the telescopic sight and the ashtray, ?
So I had a good look at this kit, and they're basically trying to make an aircraft kit that does what Bandai does with Gundam.
Yeah.
Where they've got the coloured plastic, so most of the plastic is blue with the yellow nose.
Yep.
So you've got yellow parts for the nose.
Yep.
I don't know how they are going to do the canopy, but I'm assuming that it's just going to be all clear and it's just going to look a bit odd and close enough, so to speak, because you won't have coloured, canopy frames, right?
Mm.
It's all right. It's a fine concept, especially just to try. Just to it's worth the gamble from their perspective.
Look,
I think
I'm all for kit manufacturers designing the kits so it speeds up the process of building it. And in fact, Julian, I think you've actually got a word for it where you speed up the hobby building process. You called it
casualising the hobby.
Casualising the hobby.
Yeah, well, I mean, what else are you going to call it? I mean, you got to have smaller steps for newbies to get into things.
Well, not just newbies. I mean, just because it's a simple kit to build doesn't mean it's any less a worthy kit to build than, say, a more complicated thing like door or wings or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, the whole painting with an airbrush thing, if you're confronted with that from the very get-go, it's a lot to take in.
Mm.
So, it helps if there's if you make the learning curve, and especially the buy-in, because, you don't want to have to buy a whole lot of stuff when you start off.
True.
Well, it wasn't that way for most of us.
No, you're right.
Just brush and paint and and no expectations.
Yeah, the old Humbrol brush and off you went.
Go down to the corner store, buy an Airfix kit in a bag for about $1, and Humbrol paints were about 10 cents.
Well, I remember when I discovered Matchbox, I thought it was a revelation. They didn't have to paint kits anymore.
They were in two colours.
Two colours, so.
And they had recessed panel lines, even though they were like the Grand Canyon.
Oh, jeez.
But I still love those Matchbox kits.
Yeah, very
when I was a kid, my favourite ones were the ones were they 176, the little diorama ones? You had them on the little bases. And
the Sherman Firefly.
LRG group.
All that sort of stuff, And they come like a little base and you
Yeah, little Hummer. Was it a little Hummer? They had that little bomb crater.
Yeah.
Yes, bringing back the memories, Dave.
Anyway.
And anyway, so what happened was we actually had a bit of a recording error.
We did have a recording error.
It
just died.
Beep.
Yeah. And so we had to sort of backtrack a minute or so. And in that time, I had a whole conversation about something. And basically what I got onto was I've done an about face on my opinion that online hobby stores are the future and that all bricks and mortar hobby stores are destined to die.
Yeah.
And so I've gone the other way around because someone presented me with a different opinion, and that opinion is that having bricks and mortar hobby stores in our local areas, they create the customers. You've got it there. Mum takes the kids there because they're like, oh, we need to buy something for Christmas, and then that's how you've created a person potentially for life who will be building models and if not them or their friends and things like that. They create their customers.
It creates a community.
Yeah. Whereas if it's only if we're in a alternate universe where there's only online stores, how would you ever find out about it?
Yep.
Yeah, in that online universe where everyone just stays at home 24/7.
Yeah.
And if the only place you come across it is say on Instagram and you see some guy and he's doing like amazing work, you're like, well, I can't. How do I get from knowing nothing to there?
Yeah.
You need to have.
We're human beings. We're social creatures.
True.
Yeah. But I mean, having a physical hobby store has that advantage.
Yeah.
And perpetuating the hobby,
mind you,
keeping the communities alive.
It does have its disadvantages, especially when it's 5 minutes from home.
Yeah, but online stores will always be good for say aftermarket stuff because they a physical store.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Yep.
Just doesn't have the space for it.
No,
for the niche products.
And what they do have is basically pretty generic stuff that you look at and you go, well, I really don't have a use for that.
Mm-hmm. And as we already said, go in and have a look at the paint.
Yeah, yes, the paint.
Yeah. Yeah, considering our local hobby store now has a great selection of paints.
And for me, that's the beauty of it, because if I'm in the middle of a project and I run out of glue or run out of the paint or something, I can just jump in the car and I'm at the shop in 15 minutes and then back out again.
Yeah.
With probably more than what I went in to buy in the first place.
As you always do.
Anyway,
if there's no bricks and mortar hobby stores, there's no need for box art, is there?
Box art sells kits.
Yeah, but
it does.
But if you didn't have, Julian saying in the alternative universe, if you didn't have bricks and mortar, you wouldn't have to worry about the box art because you could just do a picture online.
Yeah, you would just have a white box.
And just have a white box, yeah.
Well, no, it'd still be art, and you'd still have to have someone design it and put it there. So it'd be a graphic designer.
Yeah, but why waste the cost then on doing a printed box when you can just have a plain box?
No, you just have the cost of doing the design. You don't have the print cost anymore or the cardboard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just a shipper.
Well, why send in the box? Why send in the
I'll tell you what.
bags?
When I was in Japan, I went.
Funny you should say that. I did an online order years ago with a Russian company.
Yeah.
When I was a member of the club, and it was a massive order, and most of the stuff came in this big box from Russia, and everything was just like sprues in bags, and then flat pack boxes.
Oh,
because they're trying to save on shipping.
Correct.
Then
I had to go through. That's when you got that really good yak. Remember that?
Screw that thing.
Yeah, that really crappy.
Straight in the bin.
Kit. Yeah, that was bad. But yeah, that was really interesting because when I got it in, it was like, oh, great. Now I've got to go through and figure out which kit belongs to which box, because there was multiple people went in on the order, and it was a freaking nightmare.
When I was in Japan, I went to the Warhammer Cafe, so to speak. And
Yeah.
So they've got Forge World models in the store.
Oh, right, yep.
Because normally you can only buy Forge World stuff online, right? And they're all white boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you look at them, unless you have to sit there and look up the name in Japanese, translate it, and then Google that on the store. And you go, so that's what I'm looking at, you know?
I've got a lot
it's so weird.
Yeah, I've got a lot of Forge World at home.
Don't...
And basically, as Julian says, it's just basically in a generic box, and it's got like this little rectangular sticker on the side of the box which tells you what it is. Every other box looks identical.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think they were in English. But it doesn't matter. you still have to Google. You still have to, because, I mean, it's not like I've got encyclopedic knowledge of what's in Forge World's catalogue. You have to look it up, otherwise you don't know what you're looking at.
Very true.
Let's go and continue on with what's new. So Dora Wings have posted photos of their 72nd scale Fairy Delta FD2 kit, all built up. It looks especially good, barring unforeseen circumstances, Ukraine and all that. It should be available soon. AMP/Micromere have shown CAD renders of their 1 to 1/44th scale NASA Boeing 747 SP Sophia, which is the stratospheric observation for infrared astronomy, which is that's an excellent acronym, he says. And the people involved in building this must be very proud of that. And because I'm a space nut, I can let you guys all know that Sophia is now being cancelled and it's no longer, not the model kit, but the actual thing's no longer flying anymore.
Oh. Right.
So it was, anyway, dinosaur news. Oh, for Ian.
Oh, okay, cool.
Actually, that's not right. We used to call these dinosaurs, but apparently they aren't dinosaurs. They are something else. Sure, they look amazingly like dinosaurs, but they are definitely not dinosaurs. And I'm sure Ian will explain. So, Ian, I'll let you read through this and you can explain.
I can't see it properly. There's a big bar sitting in front of the screen.
Oh, well, move your head around.
I am moving my head around. Okay, so Tamiya are going to re-release their 1/35th scale kit of the Pterodon. It comes in a shiny new box. The kit also includes a base. Not sure how that will work exactly, as the Pterodon is posed in flight. Maybe it'll be one of those jet models that were on acrylic rods that go straight up the exhaust pipe, or straight up the clacker for the Pterodon.
You did it, Dave. That says Pteranodon.
No,
Pteranodon.
Pteranodon, yeah, like a pterosaur.
Okay.
So basically, it's not a dinosaur.
Why isn't it a dinosaur?
Why? Because they're a totally different genres, totally different species to a dinosaur. Don't ask me the technical. I do know that they are not classified as a dinosaur.
Mate, it's got the word Don on the end, so it must be a dinosaur.
Well, there's a lot of things that had Don on the end that weren't dinosaurs.
Yeah, like Catodon,
Smilodon,
which is a ball
well, Smilodon. There you go, Dave.
of pork.
Smilodon. That's not a dinosaur. That's a saber-toothed cat.
Oh, God.
All right, naval news.
All right, moving on to naval news. Micromedia were producing a 1/350 scale kit of the Project 667A Naviga, which is a Yankee-class submarine. They have shown sprues, and we can see the hull has separate fore and aft sections. Optimists have suggested that this is to cater for different versions of submarine. Pessimists think it's probably because there is a limit on how large the sprues can be.
Be pretty decent size sub.
Yeah. The Yankees weren't that large. I'm just trying to think, and I'm looking at my naval expert sitting opposite me, who's not sort of coming forward and sort of sharing any information. Just sitting there quite happy. It wasn't that large a boat, the Yankee class submarine, so it's got that sort of humpback sort of just behind the fin or the sail if you're in a different navy.
Is it one of those like cruise missile submarines?
It didn't last long because basically they wanted more payload. So you can see the hump behind the sail.
Yep.
That's literally there to fit missiles in. So they went bigger so they could fit more payload.
And the Chinese nuke boats at the moment, ballistic boats have that hump behind them as well at the moment. I just can't think of the designation of that. But it's a throwback to the old sort of Soviet style, and not a very good boat. But, I'd definitely put my hand up and grab one of them if it comes my way.
Yeah.
Cartoon robot news. This is a new title. Meng, or Mung, who I'm very disappointed in, says the Falcon, have announced a Mecha 003LM Evangelion Restraint Transport Platform Multicolor Edition. Features of this series are cement-free assembly and large size and playability. See, they just admitted it. Toys.
Oh,
jeez. We're going to get hate mail in for the Falcon now.
Falcon, you've done it now, Falky.
Yeah. So that'll be the hangar of Nerve.
Yeah.
Holding the units.
So they're good for dioramas.
Yeah. Military vehicle news. Rifle Models will be releasing another 1/35th scale Volkswagen kit. This is going to be the four-wheel drive Type 87 Volkswagen Beetle. What makes this different from their previous Beetles is the four-wheel drive parts, new chunky tyres and a canvas roof. This week's upgraded re-release from Dragon is a 35th scale SD KFZ 251/23 OSFG D
Aufklärungspanzer.
Upgraded parts are confined to a set of easy tracks, workable Indie Link tracks, and a bonus set of 4 figures. And the Leopards keep on coming. Amusing Hobby have announced a 35th scale Leopard 2A8. It is an improved 2A7V with the Trophy Active Protection System and the all-round situational awareness system as well. Thunder Models 1/35th scale LRDG F30 Patrol Truck CMP in LRDG service will be available as a limited bonus edition. Bonus parts include the 3D printed air vent intake and the curved hooks. A 3D printed weapons set including a Webley revolver, Lee-Enfield rifles with grenade launchers, and air-cooled Lewis gun and Thompson submachine guns. Also included 2 resin figures and a passenger.
Jeez, that could be worth adding to the stash.
No, not for me. Dragon models are re-releasing their 72nd scale Stug 3 OS FG initial production. The kit now comes with link and length Neo tracks. I Love Kits to release a 135th scale kit of the Oshkosh Defence LVSR, which is the Logistics Vehicle System Replacement, MKR 16 tractor. Markings for the only operator, which is the US Marine Corps. Magic Factory have announced a 35th scale kit. Oh, I saw this the other day. This looks awesome. Magic Factory have announced 35th scale kit of the M2A2 ODS SA IFV Ukraine. There are 2 decal options, both for the 47th Mechanised Brigade, and that kit looks to be absolutely awesome.
What is it?
Yeah, what is it?
M2A2. It's the Bradley.
Oh,
the Bradley.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Looks really, really good. Apparently the Ukrainians absolutely love the Bradley. They reckon it's awesome.
It's a pretty fast vehicle, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's been one that has been credited in taking out a T-72.
Really?
Which, if you think...
Are they pretty lightly armoured, though, aren't they, the Bradleys?
They're armoured so that you can survive a hit so the crew and the troopers in the back can survive.
Cool.
That's the whole design. But it's geez, gosh, it goes back to the 70s, I think. The 70s, 80s. So the Americans are now looking at a replacement vehicle. I think they've got a competition on at the moment. But, it's old tech now. But the Ukrainians love it, and they love it because... a lot of their guys are surviving after it gets a whack, and they've lost quite a few. I was reading or watching something where nearly a quarter of the ones that have been sent across they've already lost, but they don't really bother them that much because the crew survive, which is really cool. Magic Factory just sort of, I don't know, they've just sort of come out of left field and they're kicking all these huge goals with these kits that they're producing. And
the twin boxing of the Corsair looks really good.
Well,
if you got a spare 150 odd Aussie dollars to spend.
Well, this Bradley that they've produced, if you go and have a look at online and some of the pictures of it, it just looks awesome. Looks a really good piece of kit. Italy, for the umpteenth time, are re-releasing their 135th scale Dodge WC 56/57 command car. The kit has been around for a long time. Not originally in Italy tooling, it has been boxed and reboxed by several manufacturers over many, many years. Just to give some context as how old it actually is, in the first year this kit was released, the President of the United States was Richard Nixon, who resigned from office.
Yep.
The Ali Foreman Rumble in the Jungle was held in Zaire, and the Volkswagen Golf was launched. Swedish pop group ABBA won the Eurovision Song Contest with their song Waterloo. Carrie was the debut novel from Stephen King, which was published. Reginald Joseph Defoe shoots and kills all 6 of his family members while they slept inside the family home in Amityville, New York. Darwin, Australia's was almost completely destroyed by Cyclone Tracy. A skeleton from the hominid species Australopithecus afarenus is discovered and named Lucy. Leonardo DiCaprio was born. He'd be another 28 years before his current girlfriend's born. In 1974, Peerless Max released their 135th scale kit of the Dodge Command car. Not a bad kit, but maybe it's time we all let it retire.
Yes.
Gecko Models announced a 135th scale Dragon Teeth anti-tank obstacle set, small type. Provided 3 types of teeth with 6 in each set, and that's it from the Falcon.
Yeah, somehow I don't think anti-aircraft obstacle.
No,
Oh, you got barrage balloons.
Far, you know.
Barrage balloons.
I just got to say, I just love the way German armour names just roll off the tongue.
Yes.
But
very true. There we go.
This is interesting because
This
the
came from
seagull.
David Waples. Yes.
Giving it away now. I can't call him a seagull now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Didn't realise that.
Dave Waples has written in and he has said that if this doesn't hit Falcon's radar, here's something new and different from Flyhawk. It's 700 scale, and it comes in standard deluxe versions, and it's good to see something more modern from Flyhawk in a full kit. And it is the Aegeus Cruiser USS Bunker Hill CG-52 in 1991 livery.
Yep. Very
And
cool.
I think the only other one that does it in 1350 is Dragon Models, and I think I've got that kit sitting in my stash somewhere.
And Orange Hobby have also done it. And
in
Cyber Hobby.
350 or
In 350.
700? Okay, cool.
I have to say the box art looks very old-fashioned, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I like it. It's
It's a
very
bit
retro.
glowy in the dark there.
Retro.
Yeah, it's very retro from box art, isn't it? But it's a very modern subject, so it's so weird.
And also from David, he's got some more stuff, naval news. So just announced for 2024, Black Cat Models is releasing a new US Coast Guard cutter in 1350 scale. Bennett Black Cat Models has a new 3D printer and will print the hull instead of just casting the hull, which he's previously done. The only photo etch I can see for this kit are the rails and the deck shades. Ben from Black Cat advises that the well deck hatch is positionable, which could make for an interesting diorama. And what we mean by the well deck is in the back of these cutters, it's got a little ability to take on a
like a little rescue
rib.
launch or something.
yeah, that's right. So that's pretty cool, and I wouldn't mind grabbing one of them because I haven't got anything in US Coast Guard stuff, so it'd be pretty cool and all white.
Yeah,
colourful.
It's got colour on it,
Yeah,
which
the
is
white
nice.
and the red and looks
Yeah.
like
Nice.
yellow masks
Refreshing.
and rails.
I'll tell you what, the US Coast Guard have got this weird colour for their superstructures.
It's like a mustard
and-
colour, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a specific US Coast Guard colour, and I think there's only one paint manufacturer that used to do it. I'm trying to think of the name of the paint manufacturer. It doesn't now. Used to be a specialist in enamel stuff with Japanese colours. Oh gosh, it'll come to me anyway.
White
So-
ensign.
Yes, Julian.
Julian
Oh,
hits
wow.
it. Yes.
Comes in for the save.
Which
Well,
is now Tom's Model Works.
Yes, yes.
That's right. Yeah, they sold to Tom's,
Yeah.
didn't they? Yeah.
It looks like safety yellow or international trainer yellow.
No, it's a really weird colour. It's not even that. It's their own proprietary colour or
It's
some
got
weird
brown
stuff.
in it.
Or cat yellow.
Yeah.
It's a bit cattish. Diesel on.
Yeah. All right. That's it. You guys got any new news?
No. I'm trying to think. I think I mentioned last week that was it Copper State releasing another motorcycle?
Isn't this the part where you will often talk about TV shows?
Like what?
Well, we can talk about TV shows.
Well, there's the new Godzilla trailer, right?
The
the
new
movie.
Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. That is that. Apparently, that's slaying it in the box office.
Is it really?
At the moment, yeah. I'm so looking forward to that coming out. They've gone back to basically the original.
Well, a man in a
style.
suit.
Nah, not that original, but conceptually storyline. Like straight up, it's post-war Japan.
I got a new Airfix Seeking.
Ooh.
That's what's new for me.
Okay. I've got nothing new. I've got nothing.
I don't think I've got anything new. No.
Well, shall we take another short break and we'll come back and talk about silhouette cutters?
Yeah.
All right, back very shortly. Okay, let's back to the show to talk about what are we going to talk about?
Cutters.
Cutters, of course.
Yeah.
Vinyl
Cutting
cutters.
decals and
Silhouette
and
cutters,
masks.
vinyl cutters, and that's why we've got Michael here, because between Michael and Julian, they should be able to drone on for the next half hour about this.
Sure. Well, yeah. I mean, we've got.
Well, let me just kick off by saying that as modelers, we're so blessed with the sort of the tools that we can have at our disposal now. We've got 3D printers, we've got laser cutters, laser etching, and also the biggest one that's made an impact is vinyl cutters. So no longer do you have to sort of worry about doing using decals. You can sort of print your own silhouettes.
I'm not a big fan of decals to begin with.
Well,
I prefer to paint.
Yeah. But anyway, so I thought it'd be interesting to get Michael, because you've done some really interesting stuff with
Thank you.
with your cutter and the decals that you've not decals
Masks.
the
Markings.
masks that you've produced for your F-18, was it?
Yeah, I've done an F-18, Tomcats, a couple of ships,
Yeah.
helicopters, the tiger tail section off a Seahawk. So there's a lot you can do.
So I'll throw to you guys because I know absolutely nothing about it. So apart from the fact that I gave Julian $100 so we could share one.
Yeah.
So, lead away, guys. What is it?
It's gotten some pretty reasonable use, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. But what's a silhouette cutter?
Basically, it's like a printer, and it just has a blade that will cut shapes out for you, and you design them up, and it'll...
And how small can you go?
Depends on the machine.
It depends on the machine and your application.
Right.
So on some of my carts, I can get my lettering down to 2 mil.
Whoa.
But that's also dependent on the font and if I've got a sharp blade.
Right.
So, yeah, you got to just be mindful of how you're using your cutter and the material.
So essentially what it is, it's like if you can think of an inkjet printer, but instead of the inkjet, it's got a very sharp blade that is on the ends and it cuts it out.
Yeah. I know the Crycart or Cricket, it has both a plotting pen and a blade, which is interchangeable. I don't have a Silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
And
so we've got the Silhouette, and it lives at my place, and it only has the blade.
Okay.
And it can, generally speaking, because I sort of, when people started getting into these things, I sort of watched it go on, and people figured out what was good and what was not, and pros and cons, prices, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, just give me the one that has the best performance. And it turned out to be the Silhouette one, which can cut really fine. Like 2mm is not even a workout.
Mm-hmm.
It'll go down and cut things that looks visually like the width of a human hair or something, right?
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
not with consistency, so you might want to cut a few times and see which one comes out best.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it'll do really fine work, and it'll, because from what I understood at the time, the Crycut one's on offer. Once you get down small enough, it starts rounding off corners on lettering and things like that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, whereas the Silhouette will get really fine enough that
You still got a 90-degree edge.
Yeah, it'll be 90 degrees, and then it'll be so small that you can pull it off, and then you're like, okay, now I've got little floating hair-sized bits in between all your lettering and stuff to, like how are you supposed to do it? Like when it gets to the O, and you've got to position this little tiny dot of a circle in the middle properly. And
well, basically the best way of doing that is to keep is peel it all off as one piece.
Yeah. I mean,
and then you lay it down, and then you peel the actual O off, and you just leaves a circle in the correct spot.
Yeah, if you can.
That's how I do when I do my roundels.
I had
the whole thing on, and then just peel the bits off as I need to paint them.
And a friend of mine got, I think it was a Crycut one, or no, he bought the Silhouette one just like I did, but he went about it a completely different way. So you know how, I don't know about your one, but the Silhouette comes with like a plastic sheet,
A backing sheet.
like a backing thing. So the idea is that you're supposed to peel off some adhesive thing, stick it on that, it cuts that out on the sheet, and then you peel it off of that.
Yeah, I don't do that.
And that's a lot of messing around. I just feed the stuff straight in and let it cut it, and then I can just peel it off and stick it on like a sticker.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's much easier to get it off that than it, having the adhesive stuck to a piece of plastic.
Oh, definitely.
Well, let's take a step back. So you've bought one, and you've got to obviously have some way of telling it how to print. So what's your interface between the printer and what your mental concept is?
All the machines are different.
Yep.
None of them are equal. They all have different pros and cons. So the Silhouette is great because it has a really good design software inbuilt into it, and it's not cloud-based. Crycut has a lot of materials, and it has its plotting pen and its cutter and its different blades, and it's actually got an articulated blade that can be actioned with different cogging. I don't know about the Brother Scan and Cut, and there's also a new one, the Sizer. They're boasting semi-commercial applications of that one. So I find Crycut's design space a bit limited, and it's cloud-based. So I use Illustrator to design my files.
Mm-hmm.
The file you want is called an SVG. It's basically a line drawing to cut out. An SVG is still used with Silhouette, but they call it a different file, so they keep their IP as Silhouette. You have to pay a business package upgrade to use SVGs. It's
Yeah. So it actually has if you pay for the actual upgrade, it integrates directly with Illustrator so that you can design in Adobe Illustrator and then just straight up just send it to cut.
Same.
It doesn't even go through like a middleman program. It just goes straight there.
Well, that's handy.
Are they wireless or is there a cable required to connect to your computer?
Both.
Yeah,
Both?
just the USB cable.
Yep.
I use Bluetooth.
Right.
Yeah, you got your own options there, so you're not limited by cables if you want to have your cutter away from where you're painting and all
Yeah,
that.
because like especially with CryCut, they sort of target that market with people who do scrapbooking and things like that.
Oh,
and,
yes, they do.
And yeah, well, I think that's their primary market, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, like for example, in our club, Seth, his wife did scrapbooking and actually had a CryCut.
Okay.
I think. Don't quote me. In any case, it's common because like the software will come with a lot of preset things that they can cut out. They just need to download them, like almost like fonts.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like lots of different patterns.
That was my next question. So, obviously, there's a range of different fonts that are used in the military applications for what we're doing the modelling with. Where do you go to source them? Is there like a font place you can go to download these?
You can just get them off online, free. There's heaps of fonts available.
Yeah.
You can even do a scan of different fonts and look up, say, what's the font? And so, it'll tell you what font's being used.
So here's a question. So I get a model kit. I don't want to use the decals, but I want the same font. So you're saying I can scan that decal sheet?
Yep.
Which I'm legally able to do because I'm only using it for my own self.
Free to use, yeah.
Yep. The scanning system or whatever it is, program will detect what font it is?
Basically it's just software that'll trace things that it can see.
So what you're saying is, as Dave said, I can like, for example, I want to do a specific aircraft from my collection. I don't want to use the decals. I can just scan that sheet, hand the scan over to you, and you can just print straight away.
The easiest way you would do it is you would take a photo with your phone and then send that.
Well, I thought if I scan it, I'll
gives you one for one.
One for one, which means all you got to do then is just use that file.
Yeah,
don't have to play around with it. Well, you're going to get a lot of files emailed to you there, Julian.
Yeah, but I mean, so it's better if you trace it because like the software is only so smart, right? And it can only see so much, and it's very dependent on the quality of what you put.
I'm more talking about codes. And stuff
codes.
Like that.
Oh yeah, like text and things,
and like national markings.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah. That's the easiest stuff to do.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking like nose art and things.
Nose art. I'd probably still use decals.
Yeah, and then you would want like if you were doing nose art, then things get very intricate and complicated.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
Well, it's interesting because you've actually done that though, Michael, haven't you? Because on your FA18.
I've done the magpie.
You've done the magpie,
I've done the kangaroo.
Oh, at least a kangaroo and a magpie is as basic as you can get.
It's
like one or two colors at most. But I mean, like if you wanted to, you could go as far as like some of the World War II bomber nose art, right? Mm-hmm. And as long as there's no shading involved, you could somewhat trace that. Like let's say it's a very cartoon looking nose. Art of like a caricature, right? Like a very Mickey Mouse kind of character. You could trace something like that and paint it. You might want to sort of trace the whole thing and scan it and like have the software look at it and trace it for you, and then maybe cut out several of those so that you can
your layers.
Use one, throw it away. Use another one, throw it away.
Oh, I understand. Yeah,
as you go through all
the
colours.
It'd be great for doing stuff like shark's teeth.
Almost doing it like a Banksy is what you're saying, Julian.
Yes.
Yeah.
The downsides is that typically the best stuff to cut with this stuff is the tinted vinyl, right? And vinyl struggles with... it's really good for a lot of things, but it struggles with compound curves. So if you're doing... like if you've ever noticed the Eduard canopy masks, they will, for example, for a bubble canopy... they'll do the perimeter. They'll
and
perimeter.
and you fill the rest out.
Because if you do the whole thing as one piece, it won't work.
No, you're going to get folds and
So you got to take that into account, and the paper masking has some stretching. You can stretch that a little.
Yep.
So it's got some flexibility to it that the vinyl doesn't really want to do.
Well, let's dive in a bit more deeper into the different mediums that you can cut it out onto.
You can cut whatever you want, including plastic. You can cut plastic card with this.
Yeah, cut your styrene.
So you can make your stencils, your reusable stencils.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You could even hold those stencils away to get that I've sprayed a stencil look, with your airbrush.
Yeah.
Where it's got bleeding underneath. And
how thick is that plastic that you're actually feeding into the machine to be cut?
Isn't that like 10th hour or whatever it is?
Okay.
The medium that Julian and I use is Aerofoil 810 Alpha stencil film.
Yes. That's the tinted vinyl that we use.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said,
you get like Tamiya tape material.
You can,
and that shreds.
Oh, it shreds, does it?
Yeah.
Doesn't like it.
You got to adjust your knife blade pressure. Well, on the cryo card anyway, you do. And why would you use that when you're already getting a superior cut with that vinyl?
Yep.
Because
I was just thinking, like with as Julian said, with compound curves,
it shreds a bit.
Right.
Because
on big stuff it'll work.
Like it works okay, but if you've got magnification on, and you take a look at something that's been airbrushed over a mask, and and you've got a comparison between a mask that's been cut out of
vinyl
and one that's cut out of essentially masking tape, the edge is noticeably cleaner on the vinyl.
Yes,
because your tape has fibrous materials, and no matter what you do, they'll always be there.
Looks hairy. Yep. So going back, you said you can do plastic, so styrene. You can cut styrene.
So like you get the thinnest stuff you can get from Evergreen, and you can cut that. There's even on the Scale Modelers Critique group, I remember someone did up a design for a US like Mustang style seat, and the idea is that you just cut it out on your silhouette cutter
and fold it,
and then fold it like
photo etch.
Yeah, like photo etch.
Amazing.
What annoys me about the stencils, and it's not annoyance. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's ways around it. I'm worried about getting it lined up. So can you get a see-through vinyl that you can cut out? So
that's the stuff that
usually is like.
I mean, like you've used the stuff that I've given you. I cut the NASA stuff.
Yeah, I know. I haven't used it yet.
Okay.
The stuff we use, it is transparent.
Oh, is it?
Okay. It's
translucent.
It's tinted so that you can still see where it is very clearly
on the model,
and you can also see through it to see where you're placing it.
And you can place it multiple times to get it right. Without it ruining your paint.
Yeah, and
it's really good stuff.
The nature of it, of the adhesive, is that it's fairly low tack when you first put it down, so you can peel it up and put it down. It's not like you put it down and you're like, oh, it really doesn't want to be lifted a second time kind of thing. No, you can sort of peel it off, put it down, peel it off, pull it down quite easily, and then when you burnish it down, it really stays down.
Yep.
Shouldn't have any issues with paint bleeding under the edge.
No.
If you give it a good burnish.
Yeah. Well, the best way around getting paint underneath the edge is the first thing you do is you spray the thing clear.
Yeah, yep.
That way
I've done
guaranteed no
complicated
paint
edges. It just works. But the downside is you got to buy one of these cutters, and you got to be able to do a bit of designing.
And for certain applications, even if you've got a decal, I would much rather use the cutter. Yeah. For example, if you're building an A4 Skyhawk and you've got to do those insignias on the wings that land right over the top of those vortex generators.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you definitely use
I'd rather paint that.
Yep.
But aren't you still having the same issues over the vortex generators because you've got to get the...
you can clean it up afterwards with a brush if you need to, or cut into the mask.
Yeah.
And with masking, you get both positive and negative spaces.
Ah, yeah.
So after you've painted, if you have got a whoopsie,
Yep.
You can use your negative mask that you didn't use,
Yes.
put over what you've just painted that you want to keep nice,
Yep.
and touch up around it.
You can also attack it with a knife and, cut it up a little bit to space around
Yep.
and land completely flat around all of those, each vortex generator, if you wanted to.
For painting on your markings, it's pretty hard to beat a mask when it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So long as you're doing the colours the right way around, so stars and bars on the side of a Mustang, for
Mhm.
example, you got
You paint your white first.
yes. So you'd use your negative or your positive to paint the outline, so all fill it in with white.
So
You got to. What I'm saying is, you got to step backwards when you're actually doing it.
you got to think about what your individual result, what you want, how you want it to look,
Yep.
and just work it from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do start with white. And, the last colour I would put on would be the dark blue. The insignia
Correct.
blue would be the last because it'll tint your red
Yeah.
and it'll dominate the white. So, yeah, you just got to take a moment and go, okay, that's my colours. This is my mask.
Figure out the order of
Yeah.
operations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But masking is not for everyone because you do have to think about your end result a little different, how you're going to get there.
Yep.
Yeah, and especially because white, you need a lot more paint to go down before it becomes fully opaque. So what some people have found is that they painted their plane as they normally would, and then they went to do the insignia afterwards, and because they had to do a white circle and then the blue for the American insignia on top of that, they found that they could visibly see the white around the edge of it because it's stacked like a cake, right?
Yep. So you guys do make masks for canopies as well? Have you?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
And how do you go about designing that, given that you've got a compound surface that you're trying to make the mask for?
I just measure
Yep.
with digital calipers and draw
Okay.
and test fit.
Test fit, yeah.
Got to test fit.
Yeah.
And then when I get it right, it's right, and I use it. And I save the file, and I've got it there to use over and over again.
Yeah, it'd be good for someone like Ian who wants to build like 20 bloody P40s. Like once you've got one, mask all designed up and it's all working and perfect, then you're just like, okay, it's saved, and I can just cut out as many of these as I need.
Yeah. Or just do one big sheet and cut it up and stick each one in a box.
Well, I find for canopies, it's much better than the paper cut masks because it's so clean. They're pliable. There's a little bit of stretch in them, and they can come up and down as many times as you want.
Plus, as much as I love Edward canopy masks, I've yet to find one that actually fits perfectly in the frame. I've always got to do a little bit of adjustment here, maybe a little cut or a trim.
That's just due to variance.
Also,
Yeah.
if you're designing your own canopy masks, you can design them so that you can do the sealing around the windows.
Yeah.
Because
That's right,
only some Edward canopy masks will do that.
I didn't even know that they actually had some that did that.
Yeah, they're one from the Skyhawk. Speaking of Skyhawk, another tricky part of that
Checkers.
damn plane is the red around the intakes,
Yeah.
right? Because the decals that they'll give you will only be for the little tail that comes back from them. They're saying danger.
Triangular part, yep.
That says danger. This is a whatever. This is an intake. They won't actually give it to you for the actual red that goes around the mouth.
Yep. And then you got to try and match the
Yeah,
exact
now you're
colour
matching decals to
colour.
paint.
Yeah.
Screw that.
Yeah.
I'd much rather like
Paint the whole thing.
mask and paint the whole thing. So if I can spray some white down the side of it, then drop little letters of masks that say danger in the correct placing,
Yep.
and then I can just paint red over the top of all that.
Done.
And also for doing road wheels on tanks and all that sort of stuff, you can just print out a whole heap of different circles and just go peel and whack them on, spray your stuff on, off you go.
Road wheels.
Yep.
Car windshields. Also cutting your own styrene. So like strengthening bars and plates inside your helicopter frames. Just cut that to shape, put a circle in it. There's just so many applications.
And another thing that sort of comes to mind is you can do your own masks for camouflage.
Yes.
So if you've got complex camouflage like
Digital.
Yes, I've done that actually.
digital or
Same.
the Sub-Vigan, for example, if you're going to do that camouflage.
So, for example, the when I did the Airfix Hurricane,
Yep.
that's what I did. I just because when you got the instructions there, it's got like the full. This is how you do the camouflage pattern on the wings and everything and fuselage. I just took a photo of that and then just traced it all. Added some extra allowances so that for the where it curves over the wing leading edge and things like that. And then I just cut it out and just slapped them on, airbrushed it.
There you go.
I didn't have to do any.
If you're doing like a Tamiya 48 scale aircraft, well, you've already got the right size picture that comes with it. You just scan that.
But from what I understand from Julian saying, you still got to trace around the edge on whatever program you're using. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah, and I did that, and
But that wouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, and it was pretty easy. I just had to drape these things like you would the actual mats that they had.
Yeah, they're rubber mats.
Yeah, so it's almost identical to the way that they would have done it in real life, right?
With the cutting knife, do you have to change the knife for the different material that you're using? So if you're cutting through styrene, would you have to interchange a knife with the type of
mine
knife?
was only got one kind of knife.
Oh, okay.
And you can just replace it.
Right.
Are they expensive?
I don't know. I've never had to replace it.
Wow.
Yeah, you do.
Are they expensive?
Depending on if there's a sale on.
Oh, right. So they can be expensive.
Look, you're looking around about your $20 to $30. You're going to get a lot of cuts out of it, depending on your material. Mm-hmm. Because I've got a rounded wheel that will do embossing, debossing, leather cuts, wood cuts. And then I've got a fine point needle, which will do any kind of card, plastic, styrene, and our stencil material. For the stencil material, I always have a sharp blade in because it's just not worth it cutting that stuff with a blunt blade.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be. No, so you get tears. And
so that's just going to be an ongoing cost.
Replacing
blades.
I just checked mine is $20 as well.
Yeah. Just depends where you go.
The vinyl material that you use, is it readily available and is it expensive to buy that by the sheet?
Well, I only ever bought once, and I didn't buy a sheet. I bought like a whole bloody roll of the stuff.
Oh, it comes in a roll, does it?
That's what I did, yeah. I think in the States, there are places that sell them as like A4 sheets.
Right.
But I bought like this, because this is Australia, and you can't get... There's lots of things you can't get so easily. So I went to the actual manufacturer.
The one down here in Dandenong?
Yeah. I didn't go there physically. I just sort of went to their online website, and then I had to make an account, and they rang me up, and I'm like, oh... Like, they rang me up, and they said, are you sure you want to make an account for... we mostly deal with distributing, So they gave me, like... I just bought, like, it was good pricing, but I got, like, a meter by 50 or something like that.
50 metres?
So, for your stenciling needs, call
so that's
Julian.
1 metre by 50
I'm not. I think you can go up to 50. I said 50. I think on the online website it said minimum 50.
Yeah.
But it's at 50 metres.
Yeah, and I didn't
that's
get...
That's going to last you for years.
Yeah, well, I don't think I actually got 50 metres, but I got a lot of metres.
Yeah,
and enough to...
do you know it shrinks and you have to keep it out of sunlight?
It is out of sunlight.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it shrinks?
Over time, yes. You have to use it.
So, in any case, I've just got a big roll of stuff. A great big roll of the stuff.
I've found a couple of resellers over near my way. And I've got probably too much as well, but I'm going through it. So, because I do a lot of testing.
Yep.
Yeah, especially if you want to... So, it's really useful, obviously, for a lot of aircraft type stuff because, lots of things that you can do for that.
I've also used it on naval ships.
Yeah, ships.
For doing numbers.
But if you start doing...
Names, camouflage, insignia, flight decks.
If you want to do a scheme of a plane that there's no decals for, or the decals are out of production, you don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. You just as long as you got photos of what it looks like, you can do it.
Yep.
Done. Like I've for example, one of the things that I've got to do is that Australian ace that flew a Gladiator.
Right.
And I want to do that scheme because it's got a very weird scheme. But how do you do all the codes and stuff all the way down the fuselage and tail? Easy. I don't even have to worry about it. It's like I know I've got the silhouette cutter there. It's just a matter of sitting down for 30 minutes to design it all up.
That's great.
Well, that's what originally drove me towards it. I was frustrated with the options I had in markings.
Yeah, it's like you see something cool and you're like, I want to do that. And it's like, oh, no one makes it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that looks so cool. Damn it. So I just started making my own.
So there's a whole range of different ones you can purchase, and the price ranges anywhere from, we're talking Australian dollars here now,
About 150.
about 150 up to
$600.
$600.
You don't need to go that high.
And again, the manufacturer you use is the...
So the one I've got is the Silhouette, is it Portrait?
Portrait cutter, yep.
Yeah, that one. It's that one, yeah, Portrait 3.
Yep. And Michael, what one do you use?
I've got a Cricut Make It 3.
Right.
Or Cricut.
Yep. Okay.
I'm sorry, I speak English and I read the word.
You read it phonetically.
I read it phonetically.
I think there are even some sort of laser type ones that are starting to come out these days that are in the consumer space.
Geez, that's all right. So Spotlight's selling it. Spotlight here in Australia is selling the Silhouette for what? $260.
$260.
That's on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what you got.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Looks a bit girly, doesn't it?
Who cares?
Well, I mean,
Let's just say we're not the target market when they originally designed them.
yeah, that's right. I mean, it's designed to appeal to women who do arts and crafts type stuff.
That's being sexist saying women who do arts and crafts.
I'm just,
I'm just being realistic.
Crafts.
If men doing models was the primary demographic, right?
They'd look a lot different.
They'd be flat black.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if it's real manly, they'll be checker plate.
With a gear shift knob.
and it would have like a little skull and crossbones on it.
Oh yeah. But then again, if you're worried about it, just paint the darn thing.
Yeah, that's right.
You're a modeler. You can do whatever you want to your tools.
Seriously, there's a lot of options out there. Even within the brands themselves, there's different levels of maker.
Geez, that's really cheap. I'm actually thinking about going to Spotlight when I leave here and buying one.
But
why?
I have the Maker 3, and I really want to check out the Sizer because that looks like it's got some good capability.
You don't need to buy one, Ian.
Oh, yeah, well, I already got it.
Yeah, you own a third of one.
Yeah, I own a third of one.
And you don't know how to do any of the artwork, and I'll do it all for you.
Well, the laser ones, I think that's...
It's like X-Tool, and there's what are the other brands? These are all the laser cutters.
But the laser cutters, I think, is exciting because you can get a much more precise cut, and you're not going to have that sort of drag that you perhaps get on a knife if it's getting dull or anything like that. You don't have to
I don't know how well that stuff goes with vinyl, though.
I don't know either.
Heat, vinyl, melty melt.
Well,
yeah,
but,
exactly.
But I know there's a manufacturer out there that is doing laser cut vinyl masks. I'm sure of it. They do it for canopies. And I can't think of the manufacturer.
But in any case,
well, actually,
you don't need to go that far.
Say that wouldn't that laser cut work well with the paper masks, with getting rid of the furry edges?
Yeah. I don't know the technology enough.
Because there's a company I saw on B&A that actually do like aircraft stencils in 1/32 scale and I think maybe even smaller. Yeah, and that's all laser cut for airbrushing.
Yeah, you're talking about Montex masks.
No, it was another. I think it was a different company. All they do is just stencils.
Right.
And they are and
Montex
they are so freaking small. It's like you're looking at
but they can't do any smaller than 32nd scale because it's just it doesn't. They can't get it down that fine.
Give it another 5 years.
But it does point to where the direction's going.
Such a good time to be a modeler.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Technology.
Obviously, the biggest concern is not so much in the actual physical. Once you got the machine, it'll cut whatever you want it to cut. The question is,
will it cut my lunch?
How do you make it cut what you want, right? And honestly, designing, it's pretty basic. You can pick it up in like 15 minutes. And it's just a matter of just sort of sitting there and... it's not like 3D software. Like a lot of people these days are getting into 3D printing and they're going, now I want to make my own stuff. And how do I... They're trying to wrap in their heads around Fusion 360 and it's not easy, right?
Well, isn't Will Patterson 3D printing a John Deere tractor at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's designing it up.
That's
But see,
that's
he's
freaking amazing.
He
what
has
he's
the
doing
knowledge
there.
and the skill and,
Yeah.
and all that
Engineering
sort of- and
background
he can
as
do
well.
it. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But as far as like, if you compare, if learning how to model in 3D is a 10 out of 10 on the difficulty scale, this is like a 1 or a 2. You know, it's nothing by comparison.
Well, for me-
Anyone can pick this up.
I will say, designing in Illustrator is not that simple.
There's only one tool that you use.
Yeah.
You don't need to know the whole like software. You just need to know the one tool. You just need to know how to bring an image in and then trace it with that tool. That's all there is to it, really.
Yeah, I am.
Well, I know when
design
when-
completely from the ground up sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Mm.
Because I know when I got me Key 44 stuff from Julian, all I did was just scan the bits off the decal sheet and emailed it off to Julian and go, there you go. And next time I saw Julian, he had a little cutout for me. With the
For,
bits
for
I
personal
needed.
use only, of course.
Yeah, of course. I'm not going to sell it.
Have you used it yet?
No, because I started painting. I wasn't happy with the
Right,
metal
right.
finish, so I sanded it back, and now it's just sitting there collecting dust
Mm-hmm.
until my motivation comes back and I finish. It's so close to being done. It's just a matter of painting it and putting the markings on.
So you guys have been saying a lot of good things about it. What are the bad things about it? Or drawbacks or
Well,
The cons.
the cons?
it's a few $100s. So
Yeah.
That's your main con, your cost of setup, and also getting the right material for doing these stencils.
yeah.
That's the main con.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would sort of think of it as like, if you're looking at modeling as a whole, and you've gone, okay, well, I've spent a couple $100s on an airbrush.
Yeah.
This is the next power tool you should get, other than like, say, a Dremel type thing, right?
Yeah.
It's because what you can do with it is so much.
We're not talking just, getting a marking on. You can actually make parts for your models. Instead of sitting there trying to get your straight angles with a steel ruler and your knife, you can actually punch in your shape into your software and it will cut it out for you. You get your styrene glue, put it together, and there you go.
Well, I'm interested to sort of explore that a little bit more deeply because you touched on it earlier on when you were doing the interior for a particular model, you said.
Yep.
Like if you're doing the interior of a fuselage where you've got the
strengthening beams.
yes,
Yeah.
and you can cut the circles out of it as well at the same time.
Yes.
So just sort of printing.
So you design your strengthening supports that you want to have in the model,
Yep.
shape, where the holes are meant to be, what diameter, and it will come out as a replica of what you've put in.
Actually, I just thought of something else, what you guys are talking about. Ejector pin marks. All you need is the right size of the ejector pin hole, and you just cut out those circles out of styrene
and
just,
a punch and
and
die
just
set
glue
as
them
well.
in.
Yeah.
You're meaning a covering plate
Or even a covering plate. Yeah.
or a fill plate. I may have done that. Yeah, and that's usually get your digital calipers out, measure the diameter, circle, diameter, print.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
reckon we've got listeners, so anyone with the knowledge and wants to do it, I reckon someone should create a digital database for cutters,
That would
for
be
modelers.
Yeah. And
And like all you can do is you come up with something, you can share it.
yeah.
So they've got like one place you can go to online and just say I'm building a Focke-Wulf 190 D9 and I want to do that scheme. Check it up. Oh, they've got it there, including canopy masks. Download the file.
So
Cut it out.
Well, actually, and that raises a question. So on the computer program you guys use to design all the numbers and that, can you upscale and downscale quite easily? So if you get something in 1/72 scale, you can upscale it to 1/48 scale.
I mean, like, you might have to do a bit of math,
Right.
And one of the tricks you can do is sort of measure just between 2 points, right? You just need one edge,
A reference point.
to reference off of, and then you just need to scale it to that.
Literally do a little bit of math and scale it proportionately in your program.
Yeah, you just sort of highlight the whole thing, and then you just scale it up and down so that it matches 2 points that you've marked out on a ruler in the software.
For myself, if I know the difference between, say, a 148 and a 132 or 124, with Illustrator, I just go percentage-wise, boom, straight to where I want to be, either a reduction or increase.
So it's very feasible and not really all that difficult.
No, once you work out your mathematics on that kind of stuff, it literally is a put in and done. Once it's designed properly, you just keep reusing it.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
I like it.
Then there's also, like, once you start going into fictional subjects,
Oh, yeah.
like liveries for race cars, for
That's not fiction.
science fiction type stuff, it goes off, like, because now you can do text that's got a gradient through it.
So,
Yeah.
the Krieger stuff,
Right.
the armoured racing car thing they've got,
Yeah.
I'm building one of those. And it's got some historic livery on it from a well-known race team, but I'm not going to reveal what it is yet.
Red and white? Yeah, I know which one you do.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
There is colours in it. It's not it.
And of course, there's lots of YouTube help, things on YouTube to sort of help you sort of get started if you want to follow along.
There is, but not that much, because the market that they went for was the crafters and scrapbookers. So you really do have to search. But there's a couple of modelers out there that have done some videos, but you need to check your machine and the way and methods. So the way cricket does it is sometimes different to silhouette, and I can't speak to the Brother Scan and Cut or the Roland or the Sizer because I haven't had a play with those machines yet.
Right.
But Roland, that is a commercial machine. So, yeah, but it's changed the way I model, and it's made my models better. But I'm just waiting for competition side of it to not know what to do, because it's more than aftermarket parts, because you've created the parts, you've created the mask, but your mask might actually be completely better than any decal that's out there. So, do you have an advantage? Are you in a different category?
No, well, that's. I think that's a subject for a different discussion. But I wouldn't let that sort of hold you back for going ahead and sort of doing what you want to do anyway. Just on that basis.
So my the Sea Stallion I'm building, it's all going to be mask. None of it's going to be decal.
Right.
All of it, because it's big enough.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
Like nothing's not feasible on that.
Yeah.
All your walkways, your anti-slip, your markings, your marines, everything's big enough that you can get great cuts, and it'll look fantastic.
Cool.
With race car liveries, part of the problem with that is the kids often will be missing sponsorships.
Yeah, like cigarette sponsorship, especially like back in the
right,
like
70s
a certain
and 80s.
Formula One car that's just been reproduced. That's in red and white.
Yes.
Yeah, so that sort of thing isn't a problem. All you need is the imagery of the car, and you'll usually be able to find a nice
Font that suits it.
a nice side profile or something like that.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to
Yeah.
just trace it off of
definitely.
that. Easy.
Definitely.
Honestly, you can usually just search up whatever it is you want and type in SVG after it.
Yeah.
And it'll come up.
And then,
really?
And then on top of that, you've got things like you can whatever paint that you can find, you can lay down it with a mask. So you can do some finishes that you can't get in decals, right?
Yes.
So you can do text that is prismatic with flakes in it and all that sort of stuff.
Right. So the world's your oyster.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're limited only by what you think you can do.
Yes.
It's
that's
fantastic.
interesting. I like that idea.
All right, well, give it a go. That sounds like a great point to sort of wrap it up. So, time to sign off.
Yes. Okay. Well, you want me to sign off first?
No, well, first of all...
You're looking at me.
Let's see if you had anything else to say on cricket, on Crutters, but you don't. Michael, it's been awesome to have you on the show.
Thank you.
It's been great.
Yeah, it's always nice to have you on.
Before we do go, I need to do a shout out to our good mate Clayton Lockerbie. Go check out his YouTube page, Workbench Hobbies. He drops a new one every Friday, and the most recent one...
He's doing a 72nd scale Tiger.
No. He's just done one on VMS paints and... oh, gosh.
They're glue?
No. All the... Oh, God. Now I'm having a senior...
The weathering
moment.
stuff.
Yes, thank you, Ian. Yes, the weathering stuff.
Oh,
And he
check it out. I didn't see it there. I didn't see it drop last night, so I didn't see it.
Yeah, it just demonstrates how to use it. So it great friend of the show, and he also does a real quality product on YouTube. So go check it out.
Yeah.
And give him your support. Michael, yes, thanks very much for popping in today. It's been quite a while since we had you, so it's really good to have you back. Hope breakfast was okay for you.
It's good.
Ian.
Adios, everybody.
No worries. Julian.
See ya.
All right, guys, thanks very much. We'll be back in a fortnight, and we'll see you then.